We are so back. How are you guys doing? Decided to start a new format today. Fragrance rotations. Those things exist. Rich Mitch, iconic for doing his rotations. Some other guys. I don't know. Just kind of gives me an excuse to upload a video about what I've been wearing this week. Just giving a little side impressions or things that happen while I'm wearing scents and all that kind of, all that jazz. So, you might have noticed that I'm uploading this on a Saturday, and usually Rich uploads his on a Sunday. That is because my week starts on a Sunday and ends on a Saturday because I'm Jewish. Well, ethnically, that is. I'm living in a Jewish country, which means that by the Jewish calendar, the days of the week, it goes from Sunday, which is called the first day, Rishon, to the Sabbath, Shabbat, or, the rest day. Because Shishi is called the sixth day, so the seventh day is Shabbat. That's just a little Judaism lore for you. So, we'll start off with, a winner, not just in my eyes, but in the eyes of bass notes, and that is Bellon by Les Abstraits. Great brand by Eugen of You Smells Good, the myth, the legend. Great friend, and it's just a very pleasant, comfortable, very relaxed kind of, iris, kind of comfortable dark perfume. It's the cuddly darkness. It has this feeling like you're about to fall asleep. So, and I used this analogy before, and I'll use it again and again every time I wear it. And smell this. This is like the faint glow of a television screen while you fall asleep next to your partner. That is and Eugen himself told me that is a great analogy. And if he says so, I'll trust the guy, the man who gave the brief to Antoine on making Bellon, and it's just like insane. First of all, this is a decant from a Nuge. I also have a decant from a sample from Eugen himself. So that is a great scent. Honestly, my favorite from the initial trilogy. Following that is La Douleur Exquise and then Descendre. But they're all like gold medalists, of course. Like all of them are made impeccably. They're still kind of soft, even though they're even the ones who are trying to be harsh have this softness to them. I've heard one guy say it has that Chanel, sophistication or refinement. Something like La Douleur Exquise, even though it's harsh. It's not super obnoxious or super hostile or beating you over the head with it. It still has that, not bravado, but like it still has that oomph, that gusto. Yeah, I really enjoy Les Abstraits as a whole and Bellon in particular. That was my Sunday. Moving swiftly onwards, we have a scent that is, it's not like anything special, but it is a very pleasant scent that I have gotten a accidental bargain on. You might have heard the story, but I'll just tell it again on video if this is the first one you've encountered on my channel. The scent I'm talking about, of course, is Essential Parfums Nice Bergamot. This is what I use as a gym scent, and it's incredibly clean, soft, unisex soapy, white floral with that little zing of citrus. Very pleasant. Not much to think about when you're wearing this. It's in that avenue of what I like to call Marvel movie sense. You're sitting back and enjoying the spectacle. You're not really analyzing motifs or metaphors. You're just there watching the explosions and the heroes wearing capes and all that. And while this usually costs $75 or 75 euros, depending on which side of the continent you're purchasing it from, it's still 75 for the 100 ml. I got a huge bargain on this because I bought this. I bought a 10 ml with a bottle of 500 ml soap. And the soap is great. I've ordered a refill as well. It's just an incredible soap scent for me, this Nice Bergamot. And I ordered a 10 ml and they accidentally sent me this 100 ml. You can see there's a big old dent in Nice Bergamot, and I'm still working on this dent. This is gonna be gone soon. It's just what I'm doing with this. You can overspray this probably, but if you overspray it, away from the public, and you give it like 30 seconds, it will calm down. It'll smell like 5 sprays. Really, just it's worth what you're paying for. Even the full $75. I think it's a great kind of bargain. The soaps, obviously, great bargain. Nice glass bottles with a soap, and it's just it's not a Head and Shoulders, not like a Dove soap, or Le Citron soaps are also okay, but like Essential Parfums, that's huge quality soap in my opinion. And that was Monday's wear, Nice Bergamot. Moving swiftly onwards to Tuesday's wear, we had Benga Rouge by Papillon Artisan Perfumery, which, interesting story. Liz Moore's of Papillon Artisan Perfumery actually responded to my Instagram story post of my wearing of Benga Rouge, and she told me I smell amazing. And she also answered the little prompt that I do on my Instagram stories, where I always ask, what is your guys' scent of the day? Because I'm just as curious about that as you are curious about mine. So I really like asking people what they're wearing. And so Liz told me, well, not me, but she answered the question as she was making at the time, compounding another batch of tobacco rose, which is a great rose fragrance in my opinion. Very clean soapy. Not clean soapy, but it is a very green and it's a very green and clean rose. It's more of a fresh rose rather than a jammy rose, at least in the opening initial spray on paper, which is how I first sampled it in store. I sprayed it on and I walked away because I didn't feel as interested in it as Benga Rouge and the other sample that I've gotten, which is Anubis. So yeah, Benga Rouge, incredible. Got this kind of not very super thick. It's got a zing to it, which makes me think of Lotus biscuits. I know it's kind of funny. These Lotus biscuits, the funny little cookies. It's not really the taste of Lotus biscuits, but it's more like the texture and the mouth feel. It's an ancillary experience to the main flavor of Lotus biscuits, which I'm kind of getting in Benga Rouge. That's why I said it's kind of a honey cookie, which is a very interesting kind of nuance that is in Benga Rouge. Very, very nice. I do like Benga Rouge. My favorite of the Papillon Artisan Perfumery line. Anubis not so much, but I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. I should make a video on it eventually, after I'll get through the Pashas. But yes, Benga Rouge was Tuesday's wear. Then on Wednesday, well, Nice Bergamot did make an appearance, as it was a gym day for me. I switched it because I was going out with a friend of mine for some Indian food and just kind of kicking it, hanging out with him, just kind of walking, talking, slinging, I don't know, insults, listening to Weezer, what have you. And what I wore was the vintage Azzaro Pearl. I'm saying a vintage in particular because we have welcomed a new member to our collection. And just stay here for a minute while I go and grab the bottle. It's ooh, that is a huge beast of a perfume bottle. 200 milliliters of the modern reformulation of Azzaro Pearl. I was that in love with it that I got the 200 ml. And I got this for 50 bucks. 200 ml for 50 bucks is an incredible deal. Just like probably way below retail. So like incredible. I really like the sound that the plastic cap makes when you close it up and you open it, and it's just a really not fun scent. It's a serious scent, but it's also a relaxing. It's a gentle giant smile kind of fragrance for me. You know, it's gentlemanly, masculine for sure, but not masculine in the way that a later appearance in this rotation is. This is more of a calm and serious masculine release rather than what we'll get to in a bit. So yes, I actually wore the vintage, and surprising enough, let me just return the bottle back. Okay, surprisingly enough, my friend complimented me on my fragrance. Now, was it solicited? I did ask him, can you smell what I'm wearing right now? Which was, it was when we were eating Indian food, and Indian food has a lot of aromas to it, spices, mainly the spices. And he said he actually really enjoyed it, and he actually wants to smell like this. He actually asked me for some more masculine releases because he also isn't kind of on board with the masculine releases of today. He wants something more serious, more manly. Now, me, I don't have a problem with unisex or even feminine releases. I do have a problem with modern masculines and a bit of modern feminines, because they are really just very similar with your modern masculines amounting to it, either caramel bubblegum kind of sweet affair with the huge slug of amberwoods that Rich always obsesses over. He waxes poetically about his love and affection towards amberwoods. Or it's the other option, which still has those lovely amberwoods, which is the shower gel blue fragrance. Which, like, at that point, I'll just get a fresh fragrance. I don't need a blue fragrance for that. Fresh fragrances are as versatile as blue fragrances, but blue fragrances just kind of smell worse, in my opinion. So yeah, that was that. And yeah, he really enjoyed my wearing of Azzaro Pearl. Really just lovely, zingy, cold. People say bracing. I don't really want to use the word bracing because it sounds like I'm repeating what people say. But to me, it's this cold bite of a fragrance with these kind of not really salty, but kind of. Maybe it's a bit of a salty spice thing in Azzaro. It's not really aquatic, but to me there is a sort of saltiness or brininess to it that I really enjoy because I do actually like aquatic fragrances. Aqua dijo is a pleasant affair. I need to get my nose on cool water. I've actually never smelled cool water. I need to get that fixed. But yes, that was Wednesday's wear of Azzaro Pearl, the vintage mini bottle. Moving on to a completely different scent, we have Botnikov's Tabac Doré, which is just, you can see from the cap, maybe. Yeah, it's been stained to death. Let me just kind of focus it. You can see it has been stained to absolute hell and back. This stuff is sticky. Oh, it starts off with this beautiful, kind of elegant yet grandiose, fruity tobacco thing with a lot of a hot breath texture to it. It's like blowing hot air, but in a somehow very pleasant way to me. It's even got a little bit of chocolatiness, and the fruits. It's got all these ingredients that I'm not gonna list out because I don't care about them. But then as it dries down, of course, you get the kind of tea-like dryness of tobacco. And well, I don't think I'll get the full 50 ml Botnikov Tabac Doré anytime soon. Mostly because I've discovered Sultan Pasha, which kind of sweeps in my opinion. But this is still incredible, 100% leagues above other indie perfumers. And in terms of the price, it beats Ansar, which isn't a very high bar to cross in terms of what fair pricing. So yes, that is the story of my wearing of Tabac Doré. Actually, I think that was on a Thursday, so actually kind of fitting that I wore a tobacco fragrance, because I watched some film noir in as part of my curriculum. I'm learning about American film noir. And so the lecturer was absent that day, and so she told us to watch 2 movies. One of them being Night Moves, which is a very interesting watch. It's a bit of not a deconstruction, but a kind of a character investigation on the detective character who always has to get down and solve the case no matter what, and what consequences it may bring to him. Which, yeah, that was Night Moves. And also after that was The Conformist, Il Conformiste, something like that. The Conformist, about a fascist member of the a fascist party member in 1930s Italy, and a character investigation, seeing, was he really a fascist, or was he just kind of he was just looking out for himself and his family, and that's the way that it was, that avenue of success and survival in Italy at the time was becoming a fascist. That's both interesting movies. The Conformist, a bit of a harder watch in my opinion, because it is, Italian, and you have to use subtitles if you're not, fluent in Italian, like the rest of us. So yes, that was Botnikov's Tabac Doré. Super pleasant fragrance. To me, these guys, Benga Rouge and Tabac Doré, are kind of going out there, seeing each other, if you will. This is the not necessarily a feminine, maybe. I mean, to me, in my mind, it's a heterosexual relationship. In your mind, it can be whatever. This is the woman in the relationship, and this is the man in the relationship, and they're both a kind of soft-spoken, refined individuals who quietly enjoy each other's company. And it's incredible to me, Both, Liz Moores and Dmitry Dima Botnikov, both incredible, self-taught perfumers, in my opinion. Wow, both of them very pleasant, soft, perfumey, for a lack of a better term, smells. Moving on, for Friday's wear, we have... Does this look familiar to you guys? Are you entertained? Can you guess what it is? Of course you can. Lapidus Pearl. Ba-ba-bam. Remember how I talked about a masculine Azzaro Perom, the classy, serious, gentlemanly, soft smile fragrance? A different idea of masculinity portrayed in Lapidus Pearl is a very, very jolly kind of, not class clown, but maybe just like a man who wants to make people laugh. When I smell this, I kind of want to laugh. You know, it's not like the perfume. You can see I'm not laughing, but when I smell this, it kind of feels like I should be laughing. Like, it's a man who has a hearty laugh. Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! You know, he has a hearty laugh and he likes making other people laugh. You know, he's like a dad. He's a dad who makes dad jokes. And you groan. But you also kind of want to laugh at his jokes. Because he's just a funny guy, you know? At least in terms of the atmosphere. He doesn't crack people up. But he makes jokes. He brightens up the atmosphere. He's a mood maker. He's a mood maker. That's Lapidus Pearl. It is a bit of a... Like, it is very violent in terms of its intensity and scent profile. So I kind of equate it to a deranged serial killer. But in a fun way. Like a slasher movie where you root for the slasher. Like, yeah, stop these teens being adolescents and stuff. That's the kind of, costume that, Lapidus Pearl dawns. You know, it puts on people this kind of laughing madman, criminal personality. Yes, that is Lapidus Pearl with a little funny, archaic looking bottle. It's a 100 ml, but still, it's pretty cool. And capping off this week is Ombre Supreme. You know, what can I say that has not been said? It's a very pretty wet rock with this kind of honey that some people might call honey nuance, which people might call pissy, but it is overall a very fresh, lightly salty composition. It gets a bit even like bottom of the ocean kind of seaweed if you try and look for that nuance in the opening. But overall, it is a very cold and regal fragrance. It isn't as baroque as something like Sultan Pasha's work, but I would say it's more of a classical, you know? There's baroque, which is very complex and meditative. And not meditative, but like it's very complex. And you're there to, be astonished by the craftsmanship and the complex, structures. And it's an overload of melodies and inversions and inversions on inversions and accompaniments. Whereas this is a Mozart piece, You can still, dance to it. You understand it. But there's still that talent. Mozart still had talent. You guys know that. Sure, he sang about poop, but who hasn't, So this is the Mozart, while something like Sultan Pasha's work is more like a Johann Sebastian Bach. That is, very baroque and intense. And all up to, this kind of very sweeping, not intense, but very concentrated compositions, not, notwithstanding that it's an oil concentration, but still, this is even a bit airier version, you could say, because it's an alcohol-based perfume, but it's also just, in terms of its construction, it is lighter and more understandable compared to something like Sultan Pasha, which, again, if you have not seen the previous video of my Sultan Pasha initial impressions, you prepare to see me struggling for dear life to find anything to say, because it's just that stupefying. So yes, that wraps up my fragrance rotation for the week ending in the 22nd. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and leave a comment. What have you been wearing this week? What have you wearing today? If you don't want to do the whole list, if you've been wearing something that I've been wearing, what do you think of my takes on them? And I hope you guys have a great next week, and that this previous week has been great on you. So thank you so much, and goodbye.